What's up guys, this is Sammy Geek back here with a quick video, and today what we're going to do is a comparison or face-off between the standard Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, meaning the Wi-Fi version, versus the 4G LTE and the Under Armour version. What I have here is the 44mm version, and we're going to talk about 44mm for each of the three. So when we talk about pricing, we will kind of keep it similar. You guys can see this is the 44mm version, and I prefer the larger version because I have larger hands and wrists, and so I think it just looks better. And I did not have the original Watch Active. That is the only Samsung watch, literally the only Samsung watch that I have not had. And the reason I didn't have that is because it was just too small for my wrist. It was just absolutely more like a woman's watch. It just didn't fit me right, so I did not prefer that. So this watch set me back $299. This again is the Wi-Fi Bluetooth version, and I actually ordered it pre-ordered, so I was able to get a wireless battery pack, which was worth about 50 or 60 bucks. So it was a pretty nice deal when I bought this. I do want to say at the end of this discussion, do keep in mind that if you guys are looking for one of these watches, just wait a little while, because Black Friday, you guys are probably going to see some pretty sweet deals come out for these things. So hang tight if you want this thing. That's my advice anyway, to get a nice discount. So let's compare the three. This again is the Wi-Fi version. I'll tell you guys why I chose this one in a second, but I want to talk about pricing quickly here. Again, this is $299. If you compare this to the 4G LTE version, that is $449.99. So essentially $150 more for the 4G LTE capability. But there's a big caveat with that, and I'll throw that in a second. But I also wanted to throw out the pricing for the new version, which is the Under Armour version that just launched, and that one is $329. It's actually, of course, we're going to talk about the 44mm, so all of these are going to be a little bit less if you get the smaller version. But for the 44mm conversation, it's $329. So what do you get for $329, for essentially $29 more? Well, you get two things that could be important to you, maybe, maybe not. You have to make your own decision here. But number one is the color of the band, actually. So there's three things. Color of the band. If you guys like the different colors of the bands, you can get those on Amazon, readily available. I'm going to show you guys here. I think I showed you in another video, but I've got an orange one, I've got a yellow one, I've got the white one on it right now. Of course, it came with the gray, so I've got a variety of different colors, and they're super cheap and affordable as compared to the watch. If you buy the Samsung brand, you're going to spend a little bit more, but so you get a different color band. Okay, that's the first thing. Number two, you get the Under Armour connected footwear app essentially built into the watch. So if you guys are not familiar with that, what that is basically you have the option to go Bluetooth your watch to your shoes. If that's what you're into. The connected footwear gives you the ability to do different things and actually trend. It runs some trending reports on your run. It'll give you stride and different details on the run, which is actually really cool if that's what you're into. But there's a huge caveat with that as well, is you have to like their shoes. Because if you are a fan of a different brand, whether maybe it's Reebok or Nike or whoever it might be, you obviously can't use it. So you have to like their shoes. You have to make sure they're comfortable and they're going to work for you and your running style. If that's the case, then the connected footwear app might be a benefit for you if you do purchase this watch. So that's number two, the bands, the color of the bands, the connected footwear. And then number three is Map My Run. That is an Under Armour program that you're getting with this watch. It does a lot of different coaching and things like that, and again, trending on your run, and it's a lot of details for your run, which is pretty cool, right? If you're a runner, you might be looking for that app. So for me, I like to run with this watch, but I do not need any special app. Basically, the only thing I need to know is the distance I've gone and the time that I've been running. So that's, for me, that's pretty much it. And with the Samsung Health app, you can set it to give you a little bit of detail if that's what you're looking for. And so it'll chime in every once in a while. It'll tell you how, you know, what your pace is and your distance that you've run. And I think there's some coaching that you can turn on that I don't use, but you can definitely do that. So with that said, between the two watch, the Active 2 here, just the standard version, and the Under Armour version, what would my recommendation be? If you are a fan of the footwear for Under Armour and you would like a little bit more detail for your run, I would say go for it. $30 all in, $30 extra. You get the connect. You're able to now connect to your shoe, and you're able to do some Map My Run. So now you have some futuristic technology that's pretty cool for $30 extra. Go for it. You can still get different color bands if you want a white one or an orange one or a blue one, whatever you might want. You can go out and buy those on Amazon and you're square. So that is a personal, I guess a personal question that you're going to want to ask yourself is which one's going to work out better for you. However, we're left with one more variant, and that is the 4G LTE version of this guy right here. I've had every single watch. I've had the 4G LTE versions, and I just wanted to break something down for you guys in case you haven't done this yet. So the LTE version is going to set you back, as I mentioned, $150 more. But you also have to pay an additional, depending on who your carrier is, $10 per month in order to have this be operating as a single, unit without your cell phone. So I've done this in the past, of course, having every single Samsung watch. I've probably done this 3 times at least. And I've never honestly found value in it. Sometimes I would think it's pretty cool to leave my phone at home and I would try to run to the grocery store. But then I would find, hey, I got to text my wife, or I want to call her or do whatever, or I want to look at the grocery list that I had on my cell phone. And I had found myself, I was bringing my cell phone every single time anyway. So there was literally very few. I would almost have to do it on purpose, if that makes sense. So I would almost have to say, oh, that's right, I can leave my phone at home. And so I would leave it at home to try to get the value out of what I was spending. Because if you break it down, you're $150 extra for the watch and $120 per year. That's $270 extra for that first year. I mean, you could break it down how you want to, but for me, I see it as an additional $270 because by the time I rock this thing for a year and I've used up the contract, and then the watch Active 3 is going to come out, and it's cost me $270. It cost me practically double of what this would cost just in the Wi-Fi version. And not to mention, I got a free wireless charger with that thing that's worth $50 to $60. So you can quickly see if a guy goes out right now and spends $450 on this watch, which by the way is a lot of money for a little watch like this, and then you're going to spend another $120 for the first year of service. At some point that's you're crossing a line that you better damn well find some value in making phone calls from your watch, and figure out if you use that watch once a week, so you use it 52 times, and then break it down by 270, divide 270 by 52 times, and then you can figure out how much each phone call is going to cost you from that watch. If you break that down, you might just say, you know what, I'm going to carry my phone with me. So that is, kind of what I believe with this thing. There is one other thought I want to share. So if you are somebody for work where you can't have a cell phone on you for whatever reason, I don't know what it could be, or maybe it's a safety reason, or who knows what it is, because they won't allow you to have a camera on your phone or something, and you want to stay connected, then this might be worth it in order for you to go to the 4G LTE version here for $150 more and $120 per year for service. If you feel that you're going to make those phone calls, but if you're not sure, then ask yourself, how often do you leave your cell phone at home? That's number one. Number two is, if you had the ability to leave your cell phone at home, how often do you think you would do it? And be honest with yourself, because I wasn't. I tried to justify the purchase for the LTE versions that I bought before, and I thought it would be so cool that I could leave my phone at home and make these phone calls. But literally, I never leave home without my damn cell phone. The thing is attached at my hip all the time. So I pretty much, for the most part, unless something changes and it became less per month, like let's say AT&T said, hey, we're going to lower it down to $4 a month or something, then perhaps I would consider it again. But right now I just do not find value in it. And if I broke down my usage, it would have costed me over the course of, I bet I had 3 years total of LTE service, and I spent additional money on a couple of the watches. So each phone call probably cost me $100 for as much as I actually used it. So that's a little bit of a breakdown. Just as a recap, the Watch Active 2 44 millimeter in the Wi-Fi Bluetooth version, $300. Recap on the 4G LTE version, you're looking at $450, so $150 more. And then of course the Under Armour version, which is going to get you the connected footwear, the Map My Run software that's built into the phone, a little bit different colors, and that one's going to cost you an additional $29 at $329. So my recommendation is, personally for me, is just go out and get yourself the Wi-Fi version. Don't spend $450 and $120 a year for service. Spend the $300 now. Rock this thing for a year. In a year from now, sell it for $150. It costs you $150 to use, and then you can go out and get the Watch Active 3 in a year when it comes out. So someone out there is going to want this thing for $150, $160, $170, something like that, 12 months down the road when the new Active 3 launches. So if you break that down, you would have spent $120 for the year just on service. It's practically going to cost you $150 to have this watch entirely for a year, and then flip it and get the 3. So those are my thoughts. If you guys have any questions, you all know that I do respond to almost every single comment. And if you guys like this video, please thumbs up. If you don't like this video, don't just thumbs down and run off. Let me know what you don't like about it so I can address and change and modify and improve my videos for the future. If you really love my content, if you've seen some of my other videos as well, I'm super passionate about this. I love what I'm doing here, and please consider subscribing. It means the world to me. Thank you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Peace out.